Alright guys, welcome back to segment number 3 of this No Limit Holdem cash game. And real quickly, I want to apologize because last hand, on the previous video I had Ace Jack of Diamonds, and I just picked it up right before my recording hit 15 minutes, and as you guys know I have to keep it under 15 minutes. So I wasn't able to record the last part of that hand, but I ended up doubling through the hand, or I at least picked up that guy's 10 bucks from the hand. Way it went down, I raised him. He bet on the flop. I raised him to like 350. He bet 80 cents, and I made a big overbet with my 4 cards to a diamond flush. And he just called that bet, and on the turn, I decided to put him all in with, what I thought was a proper play. Turns out he had queens. He called me, and I did hit a diamond on the river for the nuts. So I got lucky, but I was making the play. I was putting the pressure on him. And it was his decision to fold. He made the decision to call, and we went into a gamble. So that's all you can do, is really put the pressure on them first. I think it was a proper play, and it won me the hand. So here we are in the same cash game. I'm up 16 bucks, and we'll see what happens from here. Alright, so the big blind, nothing special. I actually did just sit out around a blind, so I picked right back up where I was going to leave off in the big blind, but I didn't play any of those hands because I was sitting out. I ran upstairs to get a drink. These guys are taking forever, so I now have position. He's going to try and come after my hand. I do have position. It's the only reason I called that. And I do flop an open ender. I'm going to try and bet a little bit. It's a call me bet. Looks like I want him to call me. 9-10, small blind. I mean, apparently he was raising with a... I'm still thinking about that last hand. Apparently he was raising with just an attempt to steal my 10 cents. And position is a very important factor in this game. And if he was just trying to steal just versus a big stack, it's not a good play. So again, I have position. And I believe, this aggressive style play is the only way you should play a 6-max table. You can't sit into one of these tables and expect to be patient, because you will get blinded off. And it's not very likely that you get blinded off in a cash game, but it does happen if you're playing too tight. So you can pick up a lot of money just by taking 15 cents here and there and recognizing their betting patterns and knowing when they're bluffing. It all helps. So again, here's an ace. I'm in position. Probably going to be aggressive. 2 players back here are likely to call, and I'm going to have position on them. But 15 cents, like I said, adds up. Jack 7, early position, aggressive call. And nobody's playing so far. They're all being tight pretty much at this table. Very tightly. So I flop top pair. And half the pot bet, small bet, 10 cents. Get a call, and I I turn a flush draw. See if we can get a little more out there. I think I have the best hand with my 7s right now. So now I have 2 pair. I'm able to represent a bluff, because if I had a hand like a straight draw, I would have missed. So another Tom Dwan style overbet. And when I say Tom Dwan overstyle bet, or whatever that is, that's something me and my buddy Dustin have, we basically learned that from Tom Dwan, watching him on High Stakes Poker. Not just Tom Dwan. I've seen several players do it. And you can only use it in certain spots when you can represent a bluff. But when you think you can represent a bluff and you have a great hand, you can usually put a little more money in there than what they're willing to pay, because they think you are bluffing. So I got maximum value out of that hand. Only had like 45 cents invested, and I was able to get another $1.50. So 8 queen suited. And if you guys were listening to my last video, you heard me say that yesterday was kind of crazy, because I got to witness the first bad beat jackpot in a casino that I've ever seen. I mean, I wasn't playing in that table, obviously, or I'd be much more happy. But yeah, everybody just at the table just erupted. It was crazy. So just a little gut shot. He's the aggressor, so he's probably going to bet and win this hand. I'm not able to call it with straight draw, but I'd like a free card. 50 cents, almost a pot size bet. He's just going to take it. Now, I was going to raise again. Never mind. There's a raise. I was going to be, like I said, continue my aggression, but he raised before me, and then I just folded. So we're in the big blind. 5-9 offsuit. I'll basically just fold to any raise here, and there's a raise to 27. I'm out. 6-7 offsuit again. Same thing. Same raise. I'm out. So pocket fours. Again, we're on the button with the best position, and nothing's going to stop me from raising here. I'm going to take the aggression, and I'd love to see a 4. Call from the small blind. Didn't really hit the flop. I mean, I have 2 pair. There's only 2 cards that they could have hit to really want to stay in the hand, which would be a jack or a 9. So I am going to take a bet at it with, a little continuation bet. And if they don't have one of those cards, they most likely can't do anything. He does raise. He's going to win the hand. He could easily have a 9. Could easily be on a bluff, but if he's on a bluff, good play. I mean, I'll give him the pot right then and there so I don't continue to lose money to him. Queen 8 suited. Again, I'm in position. There's a raise to 30 cents. I will call. He did take some time to think about this. I paused the video. So he was debating on what he wanted to do pre-flop. Top pair. Kind of see what he wants to do. I would imagine he's going to continue, which that doesn't seem like a bet that he would want me to call. But it is a big enough bet that I'm not going to raise. I could have raised, though. And that's not a good card. He could easily have a king. He increases the size of his bet. I know his next bet's going to be big. I think this would be a bad call. I really think he might have hit that king. I mean, ace king is what I was putting him on basically the entire time. He was debating on raising pre-flop by taking 20 seconds to make his decision, then raised it to 30. His bet on the flop could have easily been a continuation bet. Hit the king, and then bet bigger. He's just going to win the hand. And I'll never know if that was a proper play. So I limp in with 5-3 of diamonds. I flop a little straight draw. But when you limp in from positions like this, they don't don't usually believe you that when you bet the flop like that. No, why would you limp in with a 6 or a deuce? But the 10 I can represent, and he folds. And when I say you can represent the card, I think that's a big part of this game, is what you are representing, because it's all about telling a believable story about your hand. You want them to think your hand is this strong or this weak, and use that, manipulate people by, when you have a strong hand, try and make them think you're weak, and vice versa, or however you want to play. But you got to be able to put them on a range of hands and make your play based on what the hands you think they might have. I put him on ace king, and he hit his king, and I just went with my read. And I've said it before, and somebody posted a comment saying that I make nice folds. I truly believe that making good folds are just as important as winning a hand. Saving money is the same thing as earning money in poker. So ace 10 suited on the big blind. Got a raise here. I'm going to play back because he's likely in the stealing position. He's trying to take down to 20 cents or 15 cents. It's a good flop for me. I'm going to try and slow play here because he did make a call, and I could have easily have had kings, queens, jacks. and be afraid of that ace. But 2 pair, now a full house. I'm able to, slow down here. But I think if I had a hand like jacks or queens, this is what I would bet, 70. So 3 spades out there. Hopefully he bets, because I'm going to check. I'm going to make maybe a bad play, but I wanted him to bet, obviously, but I didn't think that he would call my bet if I bet. So I hoped that he would take a big bluff at it, and he didn't. But I still win the hand. Another raise. I don't have position this time, so I'm not going to get involved. Okay. King, queen, offsuit, in position. I'm going to continue the aggression. Raising like this pre-flops, it often allows you to find out where you're at. You don't have to excuse me, guys. My voice is getting very rough. I talk a lot with my job, and I also talk a lot on here while recording videos. So I basically talk all day long, and my voice is getting, rough because of that. But yeah, when you raise with a hand like king queen in that spot, it allows you to find out a little bit more about your opponent. If they call the raise, then it tells you that they called instead of folding, obviously, and it tells you that they calls instead of raising. So there's it just tells you a story that they're weak pre-flop, that they're weak on the turn, they're weak wherever, and they change their mind in certain spots on the board. Then it tells you kind of what they're representing. So you just have to kind of follow their story and tell a story of your own. So I'm telling the story of an aggressive bettor, and I am in position, so I would continuation bet if I missed this flop, which I didn't. I wanted a call, but again, I'm trying to use my image to make me some more money, and eventually they're going to play back when I have a good hand like that. But I will win the small pots in the meantime, and I'm almost up $20. So ace deuce. These guys took forever to fold. Everybody's taking forever to make their actions at this table. And he just folds to me. Small blind, king 9. There's a raise to 30 cents and a call from the button. I could call here if I wanted to, but I'm just in the worst position, and I'm not going to gamble. So this guy just raised to 30. I'm on the button, so I have the best position. I haven't done this play very much, but I'm going to try and isolate this player here because they have raised several times to 30 cents while in position, similar to this. So they're likely raising with a little weaker hands, and I'm going to represent a bluff. I'm going to represent a strong hand by bluffing, so this is a standard bet, it would seem, and it will win the hand. So I decided to isolate that player, and it won me a few dollars, or maybe $1 so. Alright, so this is actually the same. Oh, I was going to play that hand. I meant to call on accident, but it's actually the same hand that I went out on the tournament yesterday with. I had 7-10 of hearts. This is the tournament that we played at St. Louis and Harrah's. Had 7-10 of hearts, same exact hand. And the flop, I limped in from middle position, and the flop came out 7-10-8, I believe. 2 spades. So I flopped 2 pair, and I bet it strong on the flop, like 8,000 when the blinds are at 1 and 2,000. And he called me. It was a big committing part of my stack. And the turn card was a spade, so I put 3 spades on the board. I thought about it for a while and checked, and he immediately went all in. So he confused me. I didn't understand why he would put that maximum pressure on me there with the nuts, and I ended up calling, so he made a good bet. And I called. I still had some outs for a full house, but it didn't hit. He had the ace-high flush, and I went out with that same exact hand. But this is actually going to be my last hand of the video, guys. I'm going to make this into segment number 4. You guys can continue watching if you'd like to, and I will see you in segment number 4. Have a good one.